So grab a ruler if you haven't done this. For sure you want a ruler. Solve for the unknown. So how far is the hiker from the starting point? Knowing that the hiker starts walking in this direction, then turns. So we're gonna go west and then north, right? We're gonna start west, but then go towards the north. That's what this is telling. So maybe this is gonna help you, right? I'm gonna go in that direction, and then turn, and I'm gonna go north 50 east. I'm gonna go this direction. Okay. So I'm going to start down here somewhere. Make a nice compass rose. Okay. So I start here. And it's west 40 north. So I go 40 north like this, towards the north. That's my first path. And there I turn. And so I make another compass rose, because another set of directions are going to be given there. This is 2.7 miles, and north 50 east, right? So north 50 east, so we're going this way, for 1.1 miles. So if you like, you can probably just do this. Like, it's shorter than that one. That's going to help us out. The 50 goes here. The 1.1 miles will go there. So that's your interpretation. Okay, if you have everything where it should go, and I'm forgetting my 40 here, the 40 is here, right? West, and then you turn towards the north. If you have all of this, I'll give you a mark for that. And then I'm going to use a red pen to start adding more information into the graph there. Okay, so this 40 is touching the horizontal line, so it will be touching the horizontal line there. So that's where the 40 goes. Okay, alternate interior. And here the 50 is right next to this angle, and I see a 90 here, so this is also 40. So you got the 40 here and the 40 there. All together, that's 80 degrees. So whether it shows up here or in your clean diagram, I don't care. I'm going to give you a mark for the 80 appearing there. So now we're going to make our clean triangle. Okay. Start, turn, and this is probably the end. Okay. So start, turn, end. The 80 should go right here. You get a mark for that 80. This is 2.7. And this is 1.1. There we go. I would say these questions are pretty straightforward in a sense, because you interpret, you get your one angle, you solve. Done. There's not a whole lot else going on. But it could be that at first you might think, well, I can't solve for what you're asking me, Mr. Dirksen, right now. Solve for what you can, and then get to the one that you originally couldn't do. Right, you move in closer. So it's asking how far is it from the starting point. That's my question. You use cosine law. Cosine of 80, and then x is the square root of 7.468, and that keeps going. And you get 2.73 miles is your final answer. Very close to this, right? 2.7. So there you have it. Let's go back to marks. 1 mark for interpretation, 1 mark for the 80, okay? 1 mark for the clean version today, like to have the clean version, everything where it's supposed to go. 1 mark for correct substitution into cosine law, and 1 mark for the correct final answer. Again, if you made a mistake on your diagram, -1 right away, like right at the beginning. Maybe you put the 40 over here, which meant that for you the 40 translates to here. And then you went 180 minus 90, that's 90, by the way. You have a right triangle, if that's what you did. That happens, so you go -1, but then I would honor like -1 here, but then everything else you still get marks for. Yes? That's fine. As long as the 80 shows up somewhere, you're good. Yeah. You get the mark for that. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 marks for that first question. So if you can do the tally there for now. Next. Eric leaves the dock in the direction south 30 degrees east. So we're going to go southeast. We're going to go this direction, right? He stops to explore it, then heads in the direction east. So east-south. So we're going to go this direction again to stop at his friend's cabin. The cabin is 47.13 kilometers away from the dock. This one is a little different, okay? So you got to watch out on how you do this one. I'm going to start, because I'm traveling this direction, I'm going to start somewhere up here. So it's south 30 degrees east, so we're going this way. So this is my start. Leaves the dock, so we're going to call this the dock. And the 30 goes here, and then I arrive, and it doesn't say how far I travel, correct? It just, you're just traveling in that direction. Stops to explore it, so this is the island. So we're going to do another compass rose here. And it's east, 15 south. So we start from the east line, we turn 15 degrees south. We're going to go this way. Okay. For 22.34 kilometers. And this is where we get to the cabin, right? This is the cabin. This is the island. Okay, so that's your interpretation. I'm forgetting my angle. So the angle is east 15 degrees south. Okay? If you have this, you get a mark. If this is done correctly, you get the mark there. I'm going to use my interpretation to bring stuff over. The 30 is touching the vertical, so it'll be touching the vertical here. What else is happening? I know that here, I have a 90 there, right? It's within the triangle, basically, so I have a 90 there. So that's going to help me. It's going to help me out here. So 30 and 15 is 45, so that's 135. You get a mark for the 135 showing up somewhere. Okay, either clean version or this one, it's fine. I'm still missing one piece though. Maybe I rushed a little bit. It's telling me that the distance between the dock and the cabin is 47.13 kilometers. Okay, so that's it's a little different. I'm going to have a pair there, obviously. So let's make the clean version of this. Dock, island, cabin. 135, 22.34, and this is 47.13 kilometers. Calculate the distance Eric traveled from his dock to the island. We want this ultimately. This is the ultimate question we're supposed to answer. Okay, so this is more work here. Again, 1 mark for the interpretation, 1 mark for the 135, and 1 mark for just having a clean triangle with everything that belongs to it. And yeah. One for the clean, but you lose the mark for the 135. So I would just go -1 next to the angle, and then you know later. Okay, we have a pair, correct? So this is for once. Finally, you were missing sign law already, right? 47.13. This is good review for Monday. Okay. What am I doing? This is bad review. Don't do this, right? I'm telling you what not to do. Sine of 135 over 47.13 kilometers is equal to, what can I do? What's the only thing that I'm able to do with the information provided? This side will allow me to solve for angle D. That's the only thing I can do, so I will go ahead and do that. I cannot solve for side X because I don't have the angle across from it. Let me see, 22.34. Sine of D is, right, you cross multiply and divide. If you do all that, you get 0.3351. That keeps going, right? So angle D is sine inverse of 0.335 something. Angle D is 19.58 degrees. Important, but not my final answer. So I will say this: if you set up your sine law and you do the work to get an answer, you get 1 mark. Obviously, if you get the 135 wrong, it's going to affect everything else, but you still get the marks for setup and for your answer. Next, I need to figure out angle C. Angle C is 180 minus 135 minus 19.58. Okay? That's 25.42 degrees. Also important, I will give you a mark for that one. And I'm running out of room. Now, I want side X. So I'm going to use cosine law because the 2542 is right here, 2542. Okay, I know this one, so I have a side angle side happening right here. So just so we review cosine law, if you use sine law, there's nothing wrong with it. We'll get the same answer. Don't worry about it. X squared is equal to 22.34 squared plus 47.13 squared minus, yikes. That's one thing I need to master yet. It's been since a little child. I always start like lots of space, and then I just cram everything at the end. I need to master that skill. Some of you probably are pros at it. There you go. It worked. X is square root of all of that, and I get 818, 41, and it keeps going. No, it's not 135, sorry. Not a good review. Bad review. This angle here I meant to say, right? Side angle side, it's 25.42. Please correct that. It says 2542, I promise. And if you take the root, you get 2861 kilometers. So, regardless of how you solve this, I don't care. You're going to get a mark for setup. So if you use sine law, you give yourself some mark there. And then another mark for correct final answer, meaning you did all the work correctly. Did anybody use sine law and did you get the same? Did you get the same? Exactly the same? We're good. Okay, so here we go. Your marks. You ready? There's a lot of marks here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is like Black Friday marks giveaway. Like this is like early Black Friday. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this question is worth 8. So 8 and 5, right? 8 and 5. This page is worth 13. So have at the bottom a nice clear, this page was out of 13, this is what I got. And you're the teacher. I'm not going to argue with you. If you got 7 or 6 or 8 or 9, it is what it is. This is more about your learning right now, preparing you for the quiz and then preparing you for the test ultimately. And remind me, I have a lot of ACs to return, so I will do that as well. Good? Cheer up, guys. It's weekend just around the corner, guys. You should be happy. Okay, 2 planes leave an airport. The first plane heads in the direction west 27 south. So we have our airport. Where are we going? West 27 south. Right? West is this way, south. So we're kind of going this way. And this one is going north 28 east. So this one is going this way. So that's kind of weird. So I'm going to have the airport somewhere here to start me off. And remember, you got to be ready to erase. Make this nice and big. Don't make, like some students just do this, like, and then they have some sort of angle, and then it turns, and then it's like, I can't see anything, right? How can you see anything? So make sure you give yourself space. Okay, I'm going to give you space on the test, on the quiz. West 27 south, kind of like this. Exactly like this AC, same idea. West 27 south. So I'm going to go west and then 27 towards the south. This is plane, the first plane. So the 27 goes there. And this is 700 kilometers. Okay? And then this is plane A. I'm going to call this plane A. And then plane B is going north 28 east. So we're going north 28 degrees towards the east. And this is 620 kilometers. What's so funny? Okay. 28. That's 28 right there. Again, you get a mark for this clean interpretation, and everything goes where it's supposed to go, right? Now I'm going to use it to come up with at least one angle inside the triangle, because we want the distance between the planes, right? We want the distance right here. So there's your 90. So if you add up all these 3 here, right, you've got 90 and 55. So that would be 145. So you get a mark for the interpretation, you get a mark for the angle, okay? And then make your cleaned version here. Cosine law again. I think Mr. Dirksen is going to make most of his questions cosine law. That's something that I'm observing. Not really. Okay, don't fall for that. This is plane A. This is plane B. Airport. Tower. I'm going to call this tower for airport, the control tower. So this is 145. This is 700.1 kilometers. This is 620.4 kilometers. Okay, so you get another mark for the clean version with everything in it. And remember, 1 mark for the interpretation, 1 mark for clean, but 1 full mark for the 145. So 3 marks so far. Cosine law. I'm going to skip this. This. You're supposed to get this. You're not allowed to do this. Only I am allowed to do this. Okay. You have 0.6?
Yeah. I have 36.
0.36?
Yeah. Do I just do a half a mark or a full mark?
Just take off, like I usually do this, right, when it's rounding. So then I just take off half at the end. Anybody else gets something other than 61? Nobody? All right, last one. You can't say you didn't have enough practice. You just have to do it, right? Kira drives down a road. This one is a little different. They all have a little twist to them. Kira drives down a road due south. What does that mean? You're going straight south. Okay, due south, due west, due north. You're going exactly at that coordinate. You're not even deviating a little bit to the right or to the left. You're going straight south. She notices an island on the lake, which is next to the road at west, 64 degrees south. Where is that? West is this way, south, so you're gonna go, it's going this way, right? She travels due south for 19.2 kilometers. She looks to the island. It should have said again, if you like to add that word. Looks to the island again and notices that it's now west 11 south. So west 11 south. So you're going this way still. So let's see what this means. How do we interpret this? Right, so this is your starting point, and you're traveling in this direction, right? You are traveling this direction, but at some point you're looking towards the island, which is west 64 south. So let's say you're looking at the island, and the island is right there. This is the starting point. That's like the initial observation. You're driving south, right? And at some point you kind of stop and you take a snapshot and you notice that it's west 64 degrees south. She travels due south for another 19.2 kilometers. So we're going this way, straight south. Question, are we going to go past the island, or are we still before the island? Well, let's try this. Let's say you're like somewhere in here. Don't copy this yet. Don't copy. It's just experimenting. West 11 south, where would that be? If this is my compass rose here, west is this way, and 11 south is this way. Could you still be looking at the island if you couldn't, right? So do some troubleshooting at times. So that means that we must have been somewhere here, correct? So that we are looking at the island. So erase. That's why they made erasers. There you go. So here's my compass rose again. Every time you get a compass direction, you want to be thinking of a compass rose. So it's west 11 south. This is not a really good angle, but I'll do it anyways. 64 is there, and I know that this is 19.2 kilometers. If you have this diagram, you get 1 mark. And now let's find some more angles. I'm curious to see how you would do this part. What can I do here? At this point here, I've got the 64. What should I do with the 64? Can I find this angle here? Yeah, because remember I was traveling due south, perfectly south. This is the north-south line, and this is the east-west line. So if this is 64, you can find this one. This is 26, because you're traveling due south. Okay? So I went 90 minus 64 is equal to 26. You get a mark for that 26. Anywhere a 26 shows up, you get a mark. Can I get another angle? Can I? Yeah? Aries, what are you thinking? 90 plus 11, yes. See how I'm traveling the south line here? So when it meets the east-west line, that is a 90 right there. That is 101. You get another mark for that one. Okay? And I can now technically find I. I'm going to hold on that one for now. Calculate the distance between her second location and the island. We want this here. So for now, you have 3 marks there. Let's go ahead and make a clean version of this. I'm gonna have to make a clean version of that joke I'm supposed to tell. Okay, I'm gonna call this first location, second location. Okay, and this is 101. This is 26. There we go. And I want this ultimately. I know this one. So if you have this clean version with everything that's supposed to go with it, you get another mark. Can we solve this as is? Look up here, make sure, even if you didn't do this, look at it. Can we solve it as is? Look for a pair, look for it. I don't see a pair, Mr. Dirksen, not yet. But I have 2 angles, right? Can easily find the third one, and we're good to go. That's a pair. And you cannot do side angle side. You need at least 2 sides for that to work. And you don't have side, side, side for sure. You can't use that one. Okay? So, will you ever have a compass direction question with side, side, side? Because I wouldn't have to tell you the angles, right? I just tell you travel 30 kilometers this way, 20 kilometers that way, and then it's 50 kilometers, the distance between the last 2 points. Side, side, side. You don't even need an angle. You're only going to have to find the angle, right? So side, side, side is just not going to be a game, a player in this game. Okay, like that one is not going to work for you. So let's find this angle here. If you do the 180 minus, 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 you get 53 degrees. I will give you a mark for that one as well. That's what the province would do. So sine of 53 over 19.2, and then it's sine of 26 over x. X is equal to 19.2 times sine of 26 divided by sine of 53. And that is, you get 10.54. So 1 mark for setup, 1 mark for correct final answer. Next. What is it asking B? B is asking, determine how far away from the road the island is as well. That's not worded very properly. It's not like ChatGPT question, I think. Blame it on ChatGPT. But basically what I want is, I want to know if this is the road, like how far away is it? What do we call this? The height of the triangle, right? The height of the triangle. And you can use, like you could use this slant times sine of 26, but I'll rather use this slant here because I know it, times, what is this angle here? If this is 101 here, then this is 89. So I'm going to go H is equal to 10.54 times sine. No, it's not 89. Mr. Dirksen, wake up. I need coffee. 101 plus 79 is 180. Sorry about that. Sine of 79. See, I don't even need to tell jokes. I just make them as I go, right? I just make mistakes. That's the joke of the day there. 10.35. 1 mark for that. So let's recap. That's recapping. Anyways, recap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 6, 7. as if I planned it, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6. The other one, I think I didn't cover, right? Okay, so 7 for this one. This one I didn't go over, right? So 1 mark for interpretation, 1 mark for the 145. So we've got 2 already. 1 mark for the clean version. And then it was 1 mark for setup, 1 mark for correct final answer. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 for that one. So 5 and 7, that makes it 12, right? Out of 12 for the backside. 12 for the backside, got it? And we had 13 for the front side, which makes this out of 25. Name and last name on there?